Hey, you know who is turning over a new leaf?
Who?
Apple.
Oh,
I mean,
what?
we went through this period with Apple where it felt like it was design first over functionality to the point of
Oh.
just being ridiculous.
I know someone who's upset about the ports. I had that same reaction. I was very surprised. I was very, very surprised.
Let's get to that in a moment.
Okay.
First, let's talk about how Apple has gone full swing the other way and made a MacBook Pro that really, really does look designed for pros without coming out and just saying, we're sorry, our bad. They've pretty much said it. The touch bar is gone. The webcam is now 1080p. The crappy keyboard is gone. I mean, that's not new, but that's what was it? Last gen, I think. So
Yeah.
the crappy keyboard is now gone. The ports are back. Basically, every move that Apple has made over the last 5-6 years, seemingly for the sole purpose of antagonizing professional users, is gone. Can we just
Yeah, I'm down.
I mean, they still need to figure out their right to repair stuff.
Yeah,
They
they're
still
doing
need to
bad
figure
in
out how to
some
not be
places.
so far up their own rectums that it's really hard to listen to them talk. There's certain things that Apple could do to fix up their attitude, but antagonizing professionals for no reason is no longer one of them. So they've got 2 new SoCs announced, M1 Pro and M1 Max. Okay, that's the stupidest thing ever. Their naming schemes, for a company that spends the amount that they do on marketing, they didn't foresee the problem with having Macs that are Macs.
Yeah, that's pretty rough. That's pretty bad.
I mean, I remember when Apple would be openly disdainful of companies like Samsung having all these different confusing models. No, we have iPhone. No. Now you got your SE, you got your Pro, you got your Pro Max. You got all your different suffixes. You're no better than Intel at this point. Okay, you're a little better than Intel. No, you're worse than Intel. I take it back. I was going to say you're better than Intel because Intel's product names are just utterly undecipherable, like especially at the server level. Those are, what am I even looking at? I have no idea. But at least what Intel manages to do is put a generational number on things.
And like at least somewhat attempt to categorize things,
Yeah,
even
now
though
it's
that
just like-
becomes messy all the time.
New MacBook Pro. Like
New MacBook Pro Plus, they got to do that. That'd be great. That'd be
I hate
so
it.
good.
There's 2 new SoCs, M1 Pro, M1 Max, and despite now having fine print showing what computers the company is comparing itself against, Apple's charts were as obtuse as ever, with an axis labeled as relative performance. What
Nice.
does that even mean?
Epic.
They had a lot of emphasis on power efficiency, with both SoCs featuring a CPU with 8 high-performance cores and 2 efficiency cores totaling 10, though it should be noted that the base SKU has 8 cores. There are actually a ton of different variants. In spite of the fact that Apple is soldering everything right to the mainboard, I actually think they did an outstanding job of providing a reasonable degree of choice when it comes to CPU, GPU, and memory configurations. So much choice, in fact, that it ended up costing me about as much as a decent car, because I told the guys internally, I was like, look, here's something we can do, because Apple doesn't see this product, right? So we have no opportunity to review a Mac, on the same review schedule as other media. So I said, okay, look, here's how we're going to stand out. We're going to buy every config. We're going to review the configs that Apple doesn't want to cede to the press. So I spent like $25,000 on MacBooks earlier this week.
Okay, nice.
So that was
Sheesh.
that was a heck of a thing. The good news is we can just flip them. Like they should hold their value reasonably well. But yeah, you can expect to see. So it cost me a lot of money, but respect to Apple for at least having a lot of different configurations. So M1 Pro is available with 16 or 32 gigs of unified LPDDR5 memory with a bandwidth of 200 gigabytes per second. It's available with a 14 or 16 core GPU. And then there's a media engine that provides hardware encode and decode acceleration of H.264, HEVC, and all the ProReses. So basically, you know that weird Afterburner card, which I think is truly, if not the weirdest, one of the weirdest products that Apple has released in the last 10 years. What a weird product that thing was.
I thought it was cool, but weird.
Super cool, but
Yeah.
it's the kind of thing that I would expect some,
Weird.
like off the wall Silicon Valley startup to make.
Yeah. Some
Not-
fly-by-night thing that's
Yeah.
like probably not going to exist in 5 years, but yeah.
2 years, let alone
Yeah,
5. Like
yeah,
it's
yeah.
what a weird product that was. And now it's gone because it's built into the M1 Silicon. It can drive 2 Pro Display XDRs, and then the M1 Max doubles the GPU cores. All you got to do is look at the pictures. It is a big chip. M1 Max looks amazing. So doubles the GPU cores. It's available with 24 or 32. Memory gets doubled as well. So it's 32 or 64 gigs of unified memory with 400 gigabytes per second of bandwidth. Whew! The media engine is doubled and it gets double the display output. So 3 6K displays with a single 4K display is how I'm reading this. This is from Jonathan Horst's notes, so correct me if I've got the display bit wrong. It looks like he's got it annotated in a bit of a weird way. Now, let's talk about the ports. HDMI is back. SD card reader is back. Magsafe is back. Why
Very
did they
cool.
ever get rid of Magsafe?
Yeah.
Even if you could charge via USB Type-C, Magsafe should have stayed. Magsafe was so cool.
Yeah.
It was one of those things that even as a PC guy, I looked at and I went, I am so jealous. That is so awesome.
I think everyone did.
Yes.
Yeah. Like it was genuinely really cool.
You're one of the
To
only...
the point where so many different cable companies ripped it off.
Yeah. Because of the patents that are held by Apple and Microsoft, they were one of the only 2 companies in the world that could ship laptops with these magnetic power connectors, and they just refused to do it because, no, don't do that.
Yeah.
So MagSafe is back, and I want to talk about ports. Who do you know who complained that ports are back?
I don't know if they want to be named right
Can
now.
I slap them?
Oh, no, that would be employee abuse.
Wait, this is someone internal?
Yeah.
Name them.
Their their argument is that being an M1 Mac user currently, I don't want to give too much information. They already have all the dongles and stuff that they need. They had to buy all this stuff already. They would prefer to have more USB-C ports instead of the like HDMI or SD card or whatever. They would rather replace those things with more USB-C ports so they can continue the expandability of their laptop through the already current dongles that they own. I don't agree with them if it helps. Because if they have those dongles, it's not like they have no USB-C ports.
Yes.
And you can still expand by a lot with one dongle. So if you have more than one, you can expand by a huge amount. Having built-in HDMI is a fantastic idea. I probably wouldn't use the SD card slot a lot, but I would use it sometimes. And it's pretty annoying needing to go try to find a reader. Especially, I mean, either you use it a lot or you use it rarely. And in both of those cases, it's really annoying when it's not readily available.
Yeah. I'm trying to figure out who it is. So you want everyone else's life to suck because your life sucks.
Apparently he likes the HDMI and MagSafe, only has a problem with the SD.
I mean, I actually do not entirely disagree that the SD card reader was the least necessary of those things to bring back.
I do think so I would argue a like appearance and goal thing. Apple always kind of wanted to be the creator platform. And I think over the last bit, they've been letting that go slightly.
Mm-hmm.
And I think maybe this is them trying to grab it back again.
This is them trying to, like, you know, peace offering. Hey, please come back. We really do care about you. I would have rather had a Type A port personally than an SD card slot. Just there's so many peripherals, and you just want to plug in like a mouse for 2 seconds. I don't want to go dig another stupid thing out of my bag. In fact, I don't even want to carry another stupid thing around in my bag. It would be really nice to have a USB Type A port. That's what I would have preferred over an SD card slot. And the reason for that, my justification for that, is that outside of the photography space, SD is not the be all and end all anymore. CFast is out there. We've got CF Express. We've got Red Mags. Like there's all these different media standards, and SD, while it is still absolutely the standard when it comes to photography, is not. Yeah, it's not the end game anymore when it comes to video recording. So I see where they're coming from. I'd still rather have the SD card slot than not have it, though.
So you don't want to smack them anymore?
All right, I won't smack them. Who is it?
It's Jaden.
Jaden.
He has a good point, sort of.
No,
I like the Type A argument a lot more, and he did say in response, he said 100% to the Type A instead.
Oh yeah, I haven't been watching Float Plane chat. It's me. This is obvious. No, it wasn't. It wasn't that obvious. I actually don't know what mobile devices. We have a fair number of Mac users now, Jaden.
Yeah.
Like there's Horst, Sarah, Lloyd. Off the top of my head, Jake daily drives a MacBook. Not an M1, but like that's 4. Mark and Andy are both heavy Mac users. So the 2 of our editors. That is half a dozen people. I have no idea what kind of computers like Logistics uses. I mean, okay, I know there's no way Callanan uses a Mac, but like,
I can understand when you're very port limited, and one of them is a port that you will never use, wishing that port was something else. I think the Type A argument is probably stronger than the another Type C argument, but I can kind of understand it too a little bit. HDMI is not a waste. I would rather plug HDMI directly into a computer than dongle it out.
100%. Dongling it is a pain in the butt because it's something that I use all the time. Now let's talk about...
It's also a heavy cable, generally.
Yes, and it puts a lot of strain on a Type-C port.
Yeah.
It's nice to have that nice, secure... And I'm really glad they went full-sized HDMI because mini HDMI and micro HDMI
today?
are both pieces of garbage.